All right, let's start off with the little guy. So this is going to be a Thor, and it is a Freedom Elite. It is a 23J package, and this is gonna have some big suspension upgrades done to it. As you can see on the front of this, it does have a front bumper, and they've also changed out the grille to a black grille. Another thing that this has that I really like on it is going to be these custom wheels. That's an aluminum ultra wheel. The suspension looks really nice, and I will tell you that this RV drives amazing. It's not gonna lack the ground clearance that normally you would see on a lot of these smaller RVs, and especially if you have leveling jacks on there, they're not going to be an issue. They won't hang down too low, and they're not going to drag. In the rear, we've done the same thing. There is also the custom wheels. This is a dually rear wheel setup, and it's also gone to a larger tire running a 235/85/16. So typically on a motorhome this small, what these really lack is the storage space in them. You can see though that this is going to have a lot of storage space, and that's due to the bed being right here in this back corner. There is a lot of space in the back of that, and I really like that because I know that that's one thing the Jayco is lacking, is a lot of storage. If you thought that was good for storage, there's even more storage as we work our way to the back of this. And you're gonna notice that they have done a full rear bumper on this, and it's also really neat because say you did wanna access that storage, you're gonna have this swing that's gonna actually come all the way out, and this will lock into place right there, which is really nice. So if I want to be able to get in and out of that storage compartment, I'm able to do that. What they've also done on the back, where they've added a full-size spare to the back of this as well as a wheel. One more thing that's really hard to see back there is also this aluminum folding table mount, where this is going to have a table that's just going to simply slide into the back of it. That is really nice. It's like a 2x4 foot table that will come up, because I feel like that's one thing in many RVs that kind of just floats around the inside of the RV. There's not really a good spot for it, so I do think that is a great spot for that. Really, that's going to be all, because we're not getting any more storage on this driver's side. So that's going to kind of wrap up overall what they have going on the outside. This is going to be similar to the Jayco, but a little bit different, so make sure you guys keep watching. We're going to head inside. So as we come in here, this is going to be overall pretty simple and basic, you know, with a dinette on here, some nice storage space. We're going to notice that in this particular model, you're going to have all of your kitchen on one side of it, and it's kind of a little bit reversed of what we're going to see in the Jayco. Our microwave, and then the other thing is we're going to go straight into bed. I mean, I could pretty much hang out in the bed here and wash my hands, do what I need to do. So to finish off this kitchen, we're gonna have our refrigerator freezer combo. And I'm gonna say that these things actually look pretty big when I'm in here. I'm gonna have that additional storage underneath there, which is great. And then as we move all the way to the back, we're gonna have our bathroom in there. Pretty standard for an RV of this size. And what's nice about most of these as well is they're gonna have the cutout in the ceiling. So if you are taller, you would still fit in there. Super simple. I mean, this is a small RV, but still lots of room. I don't feel like I would have a problem going to the bathroom. I can close the door, get plenty of privacy, and that's going to be nice. The other thing that I really like about this is the front bed area. Let's check that out. All right, so as we come into the front of this coach, you're gonna notice that the cushions do move away. That's gonna be pretty much standard in any of the Class C motorhomes. And then the cushions will come back up, and you're gonna get a nice large bed. They've also put the TV up there, and that's gonna be on an arm which will swing out. So if you're sitting at the table, you wanna watch TV, you're able to do that. So overall, it seems like this coach is gonna be able to easily sleep 2 adults on this front bed, 2 adults in the rear bed, and then 2 kids on this couch bed. You could probably get more kids up there, and an adult isn't really going to be comfortable at most of these dinettes. I know that I personally would not be. The biggest thing that when you're considering an RV like this is that no slide. When you are camping, you kind of lose a lot of the room here in the walkway. However, that is one more thing that can possibly break, and I know I hear from a lot of people that they're constantly having issues with their slides, and is it really necessary? I think the pro of not having a slide is this whole coach could articulate more and do a lot more movement without potentially breaking. I think that that's a big plus in this. Overall, I think that this is a really nice coach. We're not done. We're gonna go take a look at the Jayco 24B, and that one does have a slide, so we get to really see the difference on the interior of these. Let's go. All right, well, this Freedom Elite is definitely awesome, and next is the Jayco Redhawk. One big thing as I walk over to this Jayco Redhawk, I am gonna notice the difference in height. This one is going to have a 6-inch off-grid package, where this one is gonna have a 4-inch adventurer package, and you can see some distinct height levels. This one is also going to have the larger tires versus the smaller tires on this one, where it's more of the OEM 225, 75, 16 tires. This does have some additional lighting features and the same style bumper. However, they have done a different top hoop. This is going to have a classic top hoop, which is really cool. And now as I'm standing here, I also noticed that there is a light bar behind the grill in there too. Really a nice feature, because I feel when you drive these and you're on that long road, you never have enough lighting. Now, the big feature difference between these two RVs is going to be this right here. This is going to have that full wall slide out that you can see is going to continue down the whole length of this RV. Now, the one downfall of this RV is this is going to be pretty much the largest storage space that this is going to have, where it will fit a barbecue and some chairs and a couple other miscellaneous components, but it doesn't necessarily have as much as the Freedom Elite. That would be really nice. I want you to notice this right here. On the Jayco, right, it has the frameless window on there. This window only opens up about 2 inches on the bottom, so you never get that like really nice airflow through the coach. And now as we come over here, I want to show you this because this is huge. This is still going to have this whole framed in window, which is going to be nice because the whole window will slide open. You get a nice cross ventilation, you get a nice breeze in there. It's amazing. I love that. It may look like it has the same bumper as the other one. However, this one is called the Backpack by Weldtech Designs. What this backpack is going to have is, again, that full-size spare. It's going to have that folding table mount tucked away back behind the spare, and it's also going to have the large box. Now, the big difference between these two is this is still going to maintain your stock bumper, which you can put a sewer hose in it. And if you've never seen this, this is the magnetic sewer cap. This thing is awesome. I definitely recommend that so you don't lose your cap. And then this is also going to have the box. What's nice about this box is you can just put additional things in there. You can store stuff in there. You can also get a tray for the top of it. The big difference is this box is not going to swing out of the way because there is no compartments in the back of this that you need to get to. What it's going to do is it's going to have a frame structure on the bottom that is going to simply bolt to your frame, and that makes installing that pretty simple and easy. Now let's point out another key feature of the outside of these Jaycos. One of the nice things is going to be that the Jayco coaches are going to have a rubber body mount between the frame and the body. What that's going to do is reduce the amount of noise and feedback that is traveled up through your suspension into your frame, into your body. It's also gonna let the frame flex a little bit more independently from the body, which is always a plus. Where when you go into the Thor coach is going to be welded to the frame, so it all becomes kind of one big unit. I'm not really a fan of that. I want movement, I want flexibility, because in my opinion, it's going to preserve the lifetime of the coach, not damaging the cabinets and all the things on the inside. Because it doesn't matter which coach you go with, I don't think that everything on the inside is built amazing. I do have one really important thing to show you. This could be the deal breaker when choosing between these two coaches. All right, so here it comes, the deal breaker that you ultimately need to decide if it's a big enough thing that you need. But before you do that, what you do need to do is subscribe to Jeremy's World 10, where I'm putting out amazing content explaining everything that has to do with my life in the search for the perfect 10 motorhome, restaurant, way to raise your kids, and podcast, right? So here it is, guys. This is what it comes down to. This is what it came down to for me. As you notice, this Freedom Elite, this is gonna have 2 walls and a front nose piece, and then the roof. In my last RV that I owned, the roof leaked up in this front right corner and it caused a ton of damage, and that was just a headache for me. This is more of like a 3 to 4 piece cap on the front of this, where when you go into the Jayco, it is a one-piece cap on the whole thing. There is no sides, there is no top, there is no point where it's going to leak except where it kind of comes together, but it's farther back in the motorhome. This was the deal breaker for me, and this is why I went with a Jayco Redhawk. It's not the only reason. The next thing might have just sealed the deal for my wife and I, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, we made a video on choosing the perfect RV for us. I will throw up a card, but without further ado, we're heading inside. So this is my Jayco 24B, and this is the inside of it. It is going to look similar but yet different in the floor plan of this. It's still gonna have that same overhead bunk that you have up there. However, what it's not gonna have is the TV. That's actually gonna be located behind us. But the one thing you are gonna notice on here is I'm going to have a larger sink. I'm gonna have the same size oven and cooktop, but I do have a little bit more counter space. Another nice feature that I really like about these is gonna be the feature of having the additional outlets up on there as well. I'm gonna have the storage on this, which is going to be really nice, and I also have the microwave. I think that that is all great, and here is my booth. This was one of the things that I absolutely fell in love with because I have a bunch of kids, and to have all of the kids be able to just kind of come around this booth, to be able to have the table kind of rotate, I really liked that. The kids could kind of pile in. I felt like there was still room for mom and I, and we could all kind of hang out here and enjoy that time together when we are eating. But now, as we talked about it, as I put these blinds up, I'm gonna open up this window, and I want you just to see how far this window opens. Yeah, it's about 3 inches. So you understand that you don't get a ton of air coming through it because the air kind of has to like come around. And now I know it's going to, but I would just love to be able to slide this window open and get an amazing breeze coming through the motorhome. It may be something that I look into upgrading later on in the future. Now, it is kind of tight, and when you have 4 kids, it's really tight. So what I really like about it is this little feature right here, enter the slide. So that full wall slide that we're gonna have on this coach is going to be really nice. You're gonna see how much additional space you have for just moving around inside this coach. Now, I'm not off-roading with this coach or getting crazy. Typically, it's just used for getting to my favorite camping spot, which may be a little off-grid. But as this slides out, you can see just the massive amount of room that we're gaining in here. There it is, all opened up. With that full wall slide, you can see just how massive this becomes and how much space we have in here. And that's gonna be really important, whether it be getting back here to go into the bathroom or even just folding out the mattress, because this is where the bed is going to be in the back of this. The bed's a little bit away from the kitchen. I really like that as well. Now, under the bed, this is gonna have additional space for more storage, which is going to be really great. It's not as much storage as the Thor, which, you know, what can you do? But I will tell you what this is going to have that I really like is the large wardrobe closets and drawers in the back section of this. I think that it has a lot more room to be able to put clothes and things of that nature, only being a foot longer. I think that that's important. Like, yes, size matters, and being only 1 foot bigger, there's a lot more stuff in here. You're gonna see that the bathroom's layout is very similar. I'm still gonna have all kinds of room. I can get my privacy in here. And then it's gonna have a very similar shower in there as well. This thing is just awesome. Yeah, you know, I guess this is why I picked this Jayco 24B. But that's gonna pretty much wrap this up. You can see I do have the refrigerator freezer combo here, and they did do that farmhouse cabinets on the outside of this as well. Now, I will tell you the one thing that I dislike about this RV is the way that some of these drawers were made. Being that this is already 1 year old, you're gonna notice that it's missing a drawer. Well, because the drawer slide's completely broke, and that's on my honey-do list to fix. We're gonna have the cabinets, and I do like the slide outs that these cabinets have as well. And let me give you one other huge tip. If you have an RV and it has a slide out like this, make sure that you move your driver's seat forward, because all of these slides are gonna have this fascia molding on there, And when you slide this out, it can catch this and actually tear the molding off. I learned that the hard way and had to fix it. Also make sure the drawers are closed in the back because you don't want to do the same thing in the back. I always move this forward, that way it will close and open. And while we're at it, let me just tell you about one other thing. I'm not always wanting to run the generator on this, and the kids love watching movies, and we were just recently staying at a campground where it had an 8 p.m. generator cutoff time. What was nice is I was able to take the TV, just simply plug it into this Lion Energy solar generator. The kids were able to watch TV. I was able to enjoy myself and have a cocktail. This is something really cool. This is by Lion Energy. I'll put links to this stuff, but we're heading back outside. Here we have that Thor Freedom Elite. It's a 23-foot RV and it's not gonna have the slide, so it doesn't have quite as much room on the inside, which may be perfect for you. On the other hand, we have the Jayco 24B with that full wall slide. Both of these RVs have a lot of modifications done to them, like the suspension, bumpers, things of that nature. I hope you enjoyed this brief look into my life. Come back and join me. I'll see you guys in the future. Okay guys, here's my list of pro tips when it came to these two RVs.